It's been said that your work explores the undercurrents of human existence. Why do you choose to look at the darker side of human existence, do you think?
I don't think it was so conscious. It just sort of started to play into my work without sort of thinking about it. And then you start to realize, why are you interested in this, and why do I, sort of, direct my practice at certain things that maybe other artists don't want to, But it's really, I think, I grew up as a skateboarder. And so, in Western Sydney, where the show's held. So it's also, you're sort of embedded in a subculture that is, one is in Western Sydney, so there's certain things that us Western Sydney kids sort of experience, not everywhere in Western Sydney, but there was a lot of drug and alcohol abuse in my neighbourhood, but when you're growing up with it, you sort of see it as the norm. But at the same time, you sort of reach a certain age and you think, this isn't good, I don't want to go down that track. But at the same time, you've sort of grown up in a situation where you sort of understand a certain type of mental condition, abuse and this and that. And so I think that's just sort of kept going on with my work, whatever country I was sort of in or looking at and traveling around. And then I think as I traveled a lot, it's a way to just sort of understand all the aspects of different cultures, is just to, you can just delve into the gutter, so to speak. But, and see the realities of that. And you either deal with it in your work or you don't. And yeah, I just wanted to explore things that, I felt connected with. Even skateboarding, especially in the Philippines, it's like if you're a skateboarder, you're even more of an outcast than, say, Australia, and things like that.
Many of your works are made in collaboration with other artists, particularly in the case of inmates at the Manila jail. What interests you in working collaboratively?
It also happened organically. The first time I went to the Philippines, and I'd seen it in other parts of the world, like India and China and also Thailand, with the billboard painters, and I was just sort of like, this is, the whole movie thing, and also there's a lot in Ghana also, and I was just like, this is real painting, this is like, because it's about communication, it's about, getting people to maybe, go see the movie or whatever it is, and I like that idea of painting being a mode of, it's the economy that needs the painting, whereas it's not this bourgeois sort of thing we're used to in fine arts. So yeah, I was interested, and also interested in the kitsch side of it, the bad painting. I'm really interested in bad painting. It's sort of like the badder the painting, the better, And so I sort of discovered a guy that was still sort of doing the billboard painting tradition in Manila, which was rare at the time, because digital technology was, taking over. And so this would be great, let's work with this guy. And then it became sort of part of my practice for a few years, because I just wanted to keep pushing it. What can I do with this, And so that was sort of the start of the idea of collaboration. And then with the Manila City Jail project, it was very different, because the guys I worked with, the inmates who we did paintings with, were the tattooists in the jail. So their painting skills, even though their tattooing skills were really good, their painting skills were, in a sense, not amateur, but they weren't as developed as, say, the billboard guy. And so that was sort of cool too, because it was like another type of bad painting that I like. And when I say bad, I actually mean it in a very good way. So, yeah.
Why have you chosen to live and work in the Philippines, and what is it about the Filipino culture that drew you to it?
I first went there on an Asia Link residency, 2005, I think that was. And I'd only met one Filipino contemporary artist before, and so I didn't really know much about the art scene. All I knew was, Imelda Marcos and Muhammad Ali fought there, and Francis Ford Coppola filmed Apocalypse Now. So the stuff I knew was very mainstream, but I sort of liked, okay, let's just go there, and I didn't really have any expectations because I'd seen a lot of great art scenes in other parts of Southeast Asia, and you know, some are very traditional conservative. Other parts of Asia was very wild and progressive, and then Manila, particularly Manila, was like, whoa, like I can really relate to what's happening here in terms of painting, particularly. I felt at ease. I felt like this is sort of like what I've been trying to do in Australia, but felt a little bit on the outside. Then all of a sudden there was like a bunch of artists that I connected with, and then the art scene was really inspiring, and I just sort of kept going there on and off as a visitor, and then all of a sudden, hang on a second, I'm here longer than I am in Australia. Maybe I should, you know, try to work here and see what that does. Yeah, so it was a natural thing.
How do you think your work has developed over the last 10 years of living in Manila?
Well, putting this exhibition together, and I think the oldest piece we have in this show is 12. We go 12 years back, and that's pre-Manila, and it's sort of interesting because I never saw myself as sort of a refined minimalist painter. Even when I was based in Australia, I was sort of into making a mess and different levels of composition and all that sort of thing. And I always thought back then that I was pushing it, you know. And then when I've seen the show and seen what I've produced, say, post living in Australia and being in Manila, it's completely overloaded, it's completely over the top, and the imagery is just, there's so much of it. And it's not, in a sense, the imagery's changed too much, because I don't think it would have mattered what country I was in, because we have certain interests, but I think in terms of the energy and the color palette and the environment of Manila, it's completely influenced the paintings. I mean, they're sort of loaded to the point where unconsciously it's sort of mimicking that chaos of the city, you know. So seeing them all up, I've sort of noticed a few things that I hadn't noticed before. Yeah.
How do you think audiences at regional galleries along the tour will react to your work?
I'm not sure how they will react, but I want people to just sort of just have an experience. And I think there's many ways people can do that. They can deal with it, form and color, and, you know, the scale. The scale will really, you know, bring people into the work. And I think it'll just be like anywhere in the world. It'll be determined by the individual's experience with the world. And I just want people to enjoy and have a fun time. You know, just take it seriously, but also just, you know, a little bit of tongue in cheek, a bit of irony, and just enjoy it. Yeah.
And what do you yourself hope to take away from the experience?
I'm really excited about it touring, because I get to visit some places in Australia I haven't been. You know, I mean, I'm 42 years old now, and I haven't been to Darwin, or I haven't, you know, yeah, and it's so it's really exciting for me too. Yeah.